Hey, long time no see everyone. Today is November 23 and I actually have the day off because it's a public holiday here. I just wanted to take some time to catch you guys up on some stuff. I just wanted to keep today's video simple. A go-to for me, as I talked about in my last video, is familymart, which is one of the convenies here. Just wanted to show off some of my favorite foods at familymart. In order to have the appetite for this, I ate like a late breakfast since I slept in today, but not really an actual lunch. Currently it is 5:15, so this will sort of double as like my lunch and my dinner since it's kind of a big meal. I have multiple items. I spent 1,099 yen, so an estimated conversion is like $10, but with the actual conversion, I'll probably like have it pop up or something. Would be less than $10 for everything that I got. I'll go ahead and start with the warm items first, just because you know the cold items can wait. Okay, I'll go ahead and start with the fammichiki, and then these are pancakes. So this is a combination that I discovered from my predecessor. Apparently him and a friend were the ones who like sort of made it up. These pancakes come with like 2 pairs, so like 4 total pancakes. Cut the fammichiki in half. So the pancake has like margarine. How do you pronounce it? I don't know. It has margarine and some like syrup jelly, I'm not sure, in it, but it's already good on its own. But then you stick the fammichiki inside, and oh my god, it just freaking transcends. It's fantastic. So that is what it looks like, a chancake. That is fantastic. The fammichiki juices are spilling on my hand. This thing is just too, it's just so unhealthy. That's probably why I like it so much. Okay. Wow. Pancake, man. Yo, if you're in Japan and you're watching this and you haven't tried this, you gotta try it. Not saying you'll feel good about yourself, but at the very least it tastes delicious. When I say I found out about this from my predecessor, I read it in like a JET annual report for Okinawa Prefecture. That's how I first heard about it. So I didn't like really take it so seriously. But then my friend Ollie, who had been introduced to pancakes by my predecessor, he was able to further advocate like, yo, it's good, you gotta try it in pancake. So that was like the extra push I needed. Time to make pancake number 2. Voila. So as you can see, I got a haircut. I didn't really know how to like narrow down like my search for barbershops. With this one, there was people leaving comments like, oh, if you want a fade, go to this one. So I was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm all about that. So I went, and I happened to go on a day where I had a day off. So it was like not busy at all. As soon as I entered, I was able to get started. It was relatively fast too. It took like less than an hour, and I only paid like 1,000 yen, which roughly estimates to $10, but it's actually less than that. And as you can see, unless you think differently, it's a pretty good haircut. My brain can't even think right now. I'm just focused on eating. Pancake finished. Okay, so the reason I had a day off and was able to get a haircut, I went to my visiting school's festival, which was a 2-day thing, Saturday and Sunday. and I went to the one on Sunday, and those are considered like working days for the staff. So since I went on Sunday and kind of helped out with that, I was able to get the following Monday off. And at that school festival, I actually performed with my visiting school's dance club. There was actually 2 performances. One was for the attraction, like midday attraction. So I actually wasn't originally gonna perform with them. Ooh, sorry, ripped. Excuse me. I wasn't originally gonna perform with them for their like 2-song sort of performance, but then I ended up learning the day of like the choreo for the second song, and oh boy, I definitely messed up here and there, but after looking back at the video, it was not as bad as it felt. The second performance was the one that I had actually been practicing with them. That one was also a 2-song performance. The first one was like a Japanese version of what's it called? Closer by the Chainsmokers, and I contributed some choreo, like maybe like 2.5 8 counts worth of choreo, just in places where like the main choreographing girl was stuck. And then the second piece was a locking piece that was really fun, choreographed by one of the students who's like, oh man, he's an absolute beast. He's well versed in locking, in housing, in breaking, and then he's also into tricking. He'll be doing like front flips and back flips and side flips, and he just does this nonchalantly on concrete. I'm like, dang, this guy has got some confidence. So yeah, he's just really freaking cool, and he's actually not as active with the dance club, but this year, I guess, or like for this performance, he contributed a locking piece, which is really cool. I didn't even talk about this before opening it. It's a spam musubi, but what makes this spam musubi special? There's 2 things. One, it has egg, which I guess maybe that's not so like out of the ordinary. The egg definitely helps. I personally haven't had spam musubi with egg, so I think it's really good. Really adds to it. But what really sets this spam musubi apart is it has tuna mayo. Oh my gosh, it really makes it that much better. It's just fantastic. So yes, here it is. I don't know if you can see. Rice, spam, seaweed, egg, and tuna mayo somewhere in there. My gosh, it's so good. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? My base school had a ensoku, which basically is the equivalent of like a field trip, and each grade level went to a different location, and I got to just choose like which location I wanted to go to. So since I've never properly been to a beach, I decided to go to the beach. I didn't go into the water because it's one of the beaches here where you're not allowed to swim. But we did have a dodgeball tournament, which was pretty cool. And it was my first time, like, you know, other than dance club, obviously, my first time interacting with the students in like outside the classroom, out of classroom setting, in a non-classroom setting. There you go. Even though I saw the ocean water last video at American Village, that was like during sunset time, right? So I feel like visually it's pretty different. But for the ensoku, this is my first time properly at a beach. It was during the daytime. I was able to like see the water like clearly, and oh my gosh, the water in Okinawan beaches is beautiful. Like, it's so blue and it's so clear, and I'm just like, wow, California beaches could never. Fantastic. Alright, moving on to the next thing. This is a pizza san. San is often used here as shorthand for sandwich. And this is a margarita pizza, specifically. It's kind of like a Hot Pocket, except with like a softer exterior. So there you have it. Looks like a soft taco or a taco shaped burrito. I don't know what you would call it. Hot Pocket type thing. Yeah. First bite. Aldo. What else is there to talk about? Yeah, so it was really cool to spend like a full work day at the beach. In addition to the dodgeball tournament, I ate lunch with the students. And there's this moment, all the like dance club girls took turns taking individual pictures with me. So I thought that was pretty cute. In the middle of me taking pictures with them, there was like another table of girls who were like calling my name, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even really know them. Like what are they calling my name for? And so after I finished taking pictures, I went over and they were like, oh, pizza. They had pizza for their lunch, and I guess they had like 2 extra slices, so they're offering that pizza to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Finally got to the inside part. Pretty good. You see that full? Yeah. Also, you know this is good cheese. Yeah, that was a fun day. And it's the earliest I've ever gotten off work, because we had to leave the beach by like 2 or something like that. And then there was like, this was the first time I didn't go to dance club after school, so. Let's have some water. Oh my gosh. Wow, okay. I'm starting to feel a little bit filled, but I don't have that much food left, so it's all good. That's about it for warm foods. Next, I'm going to eat one of their fresh and delicious sandwiches. My number 1 favorite is like a smoked salmon and shrimp one, but they didn't have that today, so I got my second favorite, which is tuna and egg. Something nice about pretty much all Japanese food and snack packaging that I've come across, or if not all, like most of them, is that there's like very clever ways, very like they're like set ways that are very practical of like opening them. So number 1, you pull this tab, and then number 2 and 3, you separate these side parts. Oh, I messed up. Of course. Oh, there you go. We're all good. We're all good. And then boom, you see it kind of just splits apart like a banana peel. This is my sandwich banana. And yes, you have like 4 sliced bread with no crust, and like the specific other things. Wow, I cannot do this. This is so difficult. I don't know how to talk about food. I don't even know how to speak. My English has been getting significantly worse since coming here. You know, I just love tuna. And I love egg. And I love bread. So this right here, this is the stuff for me. Since I talked about the ensoku, that also reminds me. I went on another like mini trip. It was with one of my base school's social studies teacher, who I've gotten to meet and talked with a little bit. But yeah, she just offered like, oh, if you're free during these periods on this day, like you can come with me. And she drove the students in her class to Cape Manzamo, which is a place that I had never been to. So I was like, oh, what the heck? Like, I can visit this really beautiful and cool place during school hours, and like I don't even have to drive myself there. Like, she drove a bus, right? So that was pretty cool. That's good. It's getting darker and darker, so lighting's getting worse. I gotta speed this up. So last video, I was saying how like I wasn't planning to go to dance club every day, but I very well just might. And that ended up being the case. I go to dance club after school every single day. Part of why I do that is because at my base school, I'm like, oh, I'm only here 3 days a week. I should go every day to make it count. And at my visiting school, you know, same idea. I'm only here 2 days a week. I should go each of those 2 days. So what that ends up being is that every single day after school, I'm joining the dance club. At my base school, they asked me to choreograph for them for a performance that we're doing in December, like mid-December. And I agreed to it, of course. And then they asked me to choreograph to a full song, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've never done that, but yeah, sure, like I'll do that. But at the same time, like I'm not like fully holding back on my choreo either. Like it is pretty complex and difficult here and there, so as a sort of compromise, I decided to cut the song. I decided to cut the song to be a bit shorter, so it's actually 2.5 minutes instead of the full like almost 4 minutes that it originally is. And yeah, we've been slowly practicing that. They're picking it up pretty well, actually. I'm almost done teaching the whole thing. The next hurdle will be putting them into a formation and blocking them. Right now, I don't even fully know who exactly is gonna be in it. Actually, I have a good sense, actually, so I think maybe it should be okay. So I'm almost done here. I mean, I can feel myself getting really full. With my visiting school, I said that I already had performed with them and I only choreographed like 2.5 counts. But for the next upcoming thing, which is also in December, it's a competition they're joining in on that I don't think I'm gonna be able to perform. Oh shoot, is that not true? Maybe I will perform with them, I don't know. But anyways, now I'm making a full piece for them. I think I haven't finished the piece yet, but it'll be maybe like about a minute long. So yeah, there's that too. And it's just funny because before coming here to Japan, I was mentally preparing myself of like, oh, I'm probably not gonna dance that much. Like I'm probably gonna get into other hobbies. Like I live on an island, I'll probably get into like surfing or like who knows what, you know? But yeah, here I am like dancing every day after school. Sometimes I even go out to like a Saturday practice. So that's like 5 to 6 days a week that I'm dancing. Speaking of dancing, I also just went to my first dance class this past Friday. It's in Koza, same place where I got my haircut, literally like so close to where I got my haircut. And yeah, I actually went because one of my students from my base school's dance club told me about it. She said that every Friday she takes girls hip hop, and she showed me a video, and I was like, yo, that looks like a lot of fun. So I finally came out this past Friday, had a really good time, made some friends, befriended one of the people who took the class, and also befriended the choreographer. And so that was cool because after the class we were just like talking a bit, and then ended up like filming some TikToks together. So that was pretty cool, and hopefully like I can continue to like talk with them and get to know them. I figure like, you know, if she teaches girls hip hop every Friday, I'd be down to like come out any Friday that I'm free to just like take her class, because honestly it's fun. Later today actually I'm planning to go take a class with one of the other guys I met. He doesn't speak English, so we like only talked a little bit, but he's like a popper, does like animation stuff, so I'm gonna be taking his class tonight, hopefully. I haven't really checked if like they're still offering classes despite today being a public holiday, but it's not that far, so I'm just gonna drive over and check it out, and if there's no classes, I'll just go home, no biggie. But then looking at the dance studio's YouTube channel, I also found another choreographer who I didn't meet last Friday, but his class genre, style, whatever, is labeled as hip-hop R&B. I saw some class footage and I was like, yo, that looks so dope, that looks so fun. So his class is like right before the poppers class, so I'm hoping I can take both of them tonight. That's the plan, at least. And yeah, now you can tell it's very clearly getting dark, so I really should start wrapping this up. Adjusting has been fine, really no real big issues. It's mainly just like language barrier, of course, because like I want to be able to connect more with my students. In school, I'm able to communicate with the Japanese teachers of English because they speak English, but I'm not really able to converse as much with the other Japanese teachers. and like students, there might be a few who speak English pretty well, but like majority of them at both my schools have pretty low level English ability. But I want to be able to connect with them more, right? And not just the students in the dance clubs. So I'm really motivated to develop a better grasp of Japanese. I haven't really been doing a great job of studying throughout the summer and since I've gotten here. The one thing I've only really been consistent with is Wanikani, which is like an online website for spaced repetition of kanji. So that's cool because I'm like learning to read and recognize kanji and also learning some vocab out of it. But as recommended by one of my good friends here, I want to start up this like one-on-one tutoring thing with like a native Japanese speaker to really take accountability of my learning process and to like just get this process going, you know, like with the amount of time that I'm gonna be here, like I'm gonna have time to develop my Japanese, and I want to take this time to not just get by, but I want to feel confident in like going to different places, and I want to be able to really like communicate well with people so that I can build stronger relationships. Like that's really something that I really want to be able to do here. It's getting so dark, let me go ahead and turn on this light. This is the last thing I'm eating. It's a onigiri. This is my favorite onigiri, which, no surprise, is tuna mayo. The other ones are good too, but this one's just my favorite. See, I'm really consuming so much tuna today. Okay. I'm just gonna... There you go, I have put the rice inside the seaweed. It's time to eat this. Yeah, what else do I want to talk about? What I mentioned, like with the amount of time that I'll be spending here, my initial plan was to stay here minimum 2 years, maximum 3 years. My minimum is still 2 years. 1 year would just be too short. But with how things have been going, my 3 is definitely not my maximum here anymore. In fact, a lot of Okinawan Jets, at least that I've met or that I've heard of, tend to stay here for a pretty long time. The friends I have in my ALT friend group, which by the way, since the one time hanging out with them, we've hung out like pretty much every week and like 1 or 2 times a week. So I've been spending a lot of time with them. They're really great. I really like each of them, and I think we have a really good dynamic together. And yeah, they're just like very caring people, but also just very funny, and they're all really cool. They all are really good at their individual things that they're passionate about. I feel like having them, having that like set community has really made me feel at home here and makes it feel a lot more doable. So much time has passed already. I've been in Japan for almost 2 months, and in Okinawa for longer than a month. Time is already just moving by so fast. I know that in the future, I want to settle down in California. And I also know that I want to be a teacher, probably high school teacher, in the States. So that being said, I know that once my time here on Jet is over, like that's it, I'm done. Like I might come back here to Okinawa to visit, but like I will never live here again. And so just knowing that, being aware of that, has really made me think like I really want to make the most of my experience here, and part of that just means staying for a longer amount of time. And of course, like I'm going to miss my friends and family back at home so much during that time, and I'm not going to be physically present for a lot of stuff that happens, and thinking about that really bums me out. But at the same time, like I also just know that by the time I leave from here, I don't want to have regrets of like, oh man, like there's still this and that I still wanted to do but didn't get to do. I would rather leave thinking that maybe I stayed a little too long than to leave thinking I didn't stay long enough. Most likely I'll stay here 3 years. I really want to see like the Ichinensei, the first graders, that I'm teaching now, I want to see them graduate, you know, like that's something other jets talk about being a really special, really like emotional moment for them. And that's something I want to experience, definitely. So when I think about that, it makes me think, wow, 3 years is my minimum. Who knows, maybe I'll stay here 4 or 5. I mean, just looking at my main friend group, like the 3 of them, 2 of them are on their 4th years saying they want to stay a 5th year. And the 3rd one, he's on his 6th year, which normally jet contracts are maximum 5 years, but because of the situation with COVID, he ended up being asked to stay an additional year. But yeah, just that being said, like, I've really been enjoying my time here so far, and I know that, like, yeah, I'm going to experience more struggles and more challenges and develop some frustrations over time, but I really feel like I'm only going to love this place more and more just because I see it in other Oki jets, which is like the name for like jets who are placed in Okinawa. Like I see it in them, like with the amount of time that they stay and the way they talk about this place and their lives here. I see that they really enjoy it and that they really love this place, and I'm already kind of feeling that, you know, and I know it's only going to grow, so I'm not limiting myself. And I'm already thinking like, wow, I don't know for sure, but like my maximum time here is most likely longer than what I originally set out for myself. But at the same time, I know that like the decision to recontract for an additional year is a decision you make every year. So even though I'm saying this now, you know, like I could change my mind, and every year when I'm asked whether I want to recontract for that additional year is when I'll have to decide. Basically, so nothing's really set in stone yet. What else do I want to say? Let's finish this first. Wow. Alright, I am pretty full. But yeah, there you go. I finished everything. Hope you enjoyed this video. Those are some of my favorite things to get at familymart. Oh, one thing I wanted to add is this past weekend, we celebrated one of my friends. Her name is Erin. We celebrated Erin's birthday, and it was just like a day full of a lot of stuff. It was really fun. It was my first time like hanging out in Naha. We ended up. How long did we spend together? Jeez, we spent like maybe almost 18 hours together. Yeah, it was a long time. We met up for lunch. Eventually saw the sunrise. Last thing we did was karaoke, and by the time we were driving home, the sun was rising. So anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace! Oh!